brand and sell both their product and their services as well as their brand. And a big part of doing that is, of course, using LinkedIn, which is why you guys are here today. So I'm super excited to talk about LinkedIn. I tend to geek out on LinkedIn while I'm on the platform every single day. So I think we're just going to go get started. But before I do, a few housekeeping notes. There is a meeting chat function with this meeting, and I'd love for you to drop your questions into the chat. I will be referring back to the chat to see if anybody has some specific questions as we go through the content. And the other great thing I would love to do is, if any of you are comfortable with us viewing your LinkedIn profile, in particular your About section during this kind of hands-on demo, please drop the link to your LinkedIn profile right in the chat. And after we finish the core presentation, then I'd love to take a look at your profile. But let's get started, and let's start talking about LinkedIn's About section. If you're ever curious about how to harness the power of LinkedIn to aid in your job search and your recruitment, then you're in the right place today. Because what we're going to address today is how you can use LinkedIn every day to start growing your network and getting eyes on your profile. And hopefully those eyes start to turn into job opportunities and growth opportunities for you. So here's what we're going to cover before we start looking at the examples, is a quick look at the objective of LinkedIn's About section. And then we're going to start to look at keywords necessary to attract job recruiters to your profile. We're also going to look at some examples of strong opening statements that will compel the recruiter to read on through your profile. And if you take a look at your profile, you can see that only the first 2 lines of your About section really show when someone lands on your profile. So that opening statement is key to the entire section. And of course, we want to create a clear path of engagement for recruiters to follow to learn more about you once they've read all of these amazing things about you. And then, like I mentioned, we're going to look at some examples at the end. My hope is by the end of the webinar that you have some ideas of keywords that you can use in your About section that are relevant for your industry and, of course, relevant for recruiters that are going to be looking for you. You'll also have some ideas on how to craft a strong opening statement for your About section, and some ideas of how to close out the About section and invite that recruiter to engage further with you, whether it's on or off of the LinkedIn platform. So a quick word about who I am. Like I said, my name is Leanne, and I am passionate about personal branding. I'm actually in the meetings and events industry, and I've been there for 20 years. And that's where I started to build my personal brand and my LinkedIn presence. Now I create daily and weekly content, not only on my blog, but I also have a YouTube channel. Thank you, Tim, for mentioning that I have quite a few pieces of content around LinkedIn on my YouTube channel. So if you're interested in binging on all things LinkedIn, certainly find me over there. And then, of course, also find me on LinkedIn. I post comments and tips and tricks every day, not only about the platform, but about how to increase your brand. And finally, I actually have a digital course all about LinkedIn. It's specifically for the sales industry, but anyone can take this course to learn how to optimize your profile from head to toe. And the irony is enrollment is actually open this week. So if you go to leannecalderwood.com/LinkedIn, you can take a look at my course over there. And then I do what I'm doing here today, and I educate groups of people just like you about how we can harness the power of LinkedIn. Now, I should mention it was really only 4 years ago that I started using LinkedIn. So regardless of where you are on your job or career journey, it's never too late to start. And I'm hoping I can give you some tools to get started today. And here's one of the biggest reasons our LinkedIn profile is such a key piece of this employment puzzle for us. Because for many of us, our LinkedIn profiles will show up as one of the top search results in Google. So having an accurate and a compelling profile is critical to help get eyes on your content and create momentum for you in your job search. And for a majority of us, LinkedIn is the only professional representation that we have on the internet. So we need to capitalize on this little piece of real estate that we have. We want people to land on our profile and then continue reading on about us. And that is what we're talking about today, is the About section. This is also commonly known as the summary section, and it falls right below your headline and contact information. This is the meat of your LinkedIn profile. This is the section that people are going to look at right after you hook them with your headline. And we will talk a little bit about headlines because it's important that you hook them with your headline so that they do naturally drift into your About section. So this is a place where we can put all great things about ourselves as it pertains to our next employment opportunity. So everything we write in here, it's not just a humble brag, but it's also about how you want, or how you can, help your future employer. So that when those job recruiters and employers are looking at your About section, they see themselves in your story, and that's what's drawing them in. That's what's going to create that engagement from the recruiter to say, hey, this person actually gets what we're about, and this person can actually help us forward our goals. Now you have 2,000 characters in the About section, and today I'm going to show you some ways that we can use up each and every character. So here's a checklist of things that your About section should contain. First, write it in first person. So using pronouns I help, I create, my passions are. This is not a third person section that you would normally see maybe on a paper resume. And that's what I guess differentiates LinkedIn from an online resume, is this is your space, not my space, but your space. So speak to your target audience from first person. Like I mentioned, that first sentence is going to be key, and that's why I keep bringing it up, because this is going to be the hook that gets them to read into the rest of your characters. We're going to use keywords, and I'll show you a few tricks on how to find keywords that are relevant to your industry. And then helper, verbs, and adjectives. Now I have a laundry list of these as well, but there could be helper verbs in your world, in your industry, that you can inject into your About section. And finally, the most commonly skipped piece of this entire LinkedIn puzzle is what you want the recruiter to do at the end of the section. And that's what's called a call to action. We are going to call the recruiter to take next steps to engage with us. So we want to make sure that we include that. So I apologize, there's a typo here on the slide. It's 2,000 character count. 2,000 words is a lot of words. 2,000 character count, and we're going to make each character count. Now, when writing in the first person, make sure that you're speaking directly to your target audience. And I'm defining what target audience is. This is the person that you want to read your profile. Now, in this particular presentation with TechNation, I'm making an assumption that you are embarking on an employment journey or a career journey. So your target audience is job recruiters. It could be even more specific than that and be job recruiters from tech companies, or job recruiters from accounting firms, or job recruiters from law firms. You get the gist. Now, if I've made an incorrect assumption and you're not looking to attract job recruiters, but you're looking to attract engineers or looking to attract accountants, then your language is going to change slightly again. So ensure before you even start writing your About section, you are crystal clear on who your target audience is, because they're the ones that you're drawing into your story first and foremost. And the About section shouldn't read like a laundry list of your abilities and skills and projects, but rather how each ability, each skill, or each project can help your target audience, can help that person's organization achieve their objectives. So again, do you see how it's a little bit different than a resume, which is traditionally just that laundry list of all the things, the great things that you've done in the past? This is still a list, but it's a list of things of how you can move somebody forward. So I'd like for you to look at your about section in that lens, the things that I've done or the things that I can do to move your organization forward. And that first sentence is key. And if you have two screens up on your computer, or you're able to jump over to another tab, go to LinkedIn, either click on your profile or a friend's profile, and you will see that when someone's profile comes up, you only really get the top two sentences, and it's followed by 3 dots and it says, see more. Well, in order for them to see more, we need to give them a compelling reason to read more. So that's why this first sentence has to be bold, it has to be compelling, and it has to draw your audience in and build some intrigue so that they will click on those little 3 dots to see more. Because once they see more, then they're going to get to the bulk of your profile. So as you can see in my example here, I hopefully created something that will now draw them in and allow them to read on more about me and the audiences that I serve. So if you're looking for some examples of those compelling statements, I've included a couple on here, but there are many, many ways. And I would like for you to find something that you feel is going to attract in your particular industry. This is the example from my profile. If you are looking for ... then I have something to show you, and we continue. So this kind of approach not only speaks very specific to a target audience, but it invites them into the journey, and so they click on read more. But there's other examples as well. I've seen this one used incredibly well, and especially if you're in a tech industry, this one could work really, really well for you. So as a senior grad student, I help organizations ... So with this example, you've got some of your skills and accolades and all of those great things right in the front sentence. But remember, it's followed by those helper words that I mentioned. Because again, it doesn't matter how great of a senior grad student you are, unless you can provide value to that organization, you're going to look like all the other senior grad students. So again, position everything as, this is what I do, and this is how I help you. So here's a laundry list of helper words. I would love for you to take note of the ones that might work for you. Not all of them are going to. I can tell you half of these words wouldn't quite jive with the audience that I serve, but they could work really, really well with your audience. So make a note of the ones that would work well for you. And like I said, there could be some on here, or rather there could be some omissions because your industry has some verbiage and some communication words that I'm just not privy to. So make a list of those words on your little cheat sheet, because we want to make sure that these appear in your about section. Now, if you are speaking to different audiences, which some of you may be doing, right? You might be trying to attract recruiters, but you're also looking for like-minded team members. You could be looking for customers. There's a way that you can do that in the about section. And I invite you to just jump back quickly to my profile, because I speak to different audiences. And one way I see this done very commonly is they will very specifically outline those different audiences with fancy bullet points. I use emojis. I love emojis because it breaks up the copy and it gives some visual interest to the about section. But the about section is a great place for you to speak to each individual audience. Again, just a couple sentences about how you help that particular audience. So don't feel you're going to be pigeonholed in just speaking to one person, but remember your compelling statement at the top needs to ensure that they're going to read on. Now, with those 2,000 characters, if you're looking for things to fill it up with, here are some examples. And examples for you that could work really, really well is probably the first one on this list, the skills and the attributes that you've now gained through your either your former careers or your education. And then the last one, your projects. If you've completed some really great team projects that can lend itself well to your next career, you can outline those in your About section. Now, some other things that this is more what job recruiters look for to ensure that your personality or your strengths or your skills are a good fit for an organization are those personality tests. I'm assuming if you've gone through any kind of post-secondary education, you've done one or more of these tests. Well, job recruiters like to see the results of these tests to see if you're a good fit for the organization. Now, you may think that that's going to eliminate you from some positions if your strengths don't line up. But remember, it's better to find a job that speaks really well to your abilities and it's a good fit with that organization. Again, this will set you apart from your other competitors in the space. And then the final piece, and this is the last thing we're going to do before we start taking a look at some good examples. The final piece is the call to action. Now, what a call to action is, it's the next logical step that you want your reader to take. And in this case, it could be to email you or send you a LinkedIn message. For me, sometimes it's visiting my blog, but for you, it could be even a phone number if you're comfortable putting it on your profile. So that recruiter, that colleague can get in touch with you and they know how. Now, there is a contact information piece on your LinkedIn profile. And again, if you jump back to your LinkedIn profile, you'll find that piece right below your headline and your location. But when it's in your About section, you've now saved the recruiter a step. You've saved them having to fish for that information and you've made it super easy. So on my profile, and I wonder if I can go back, I think on my profile, I include my email address because that is the easiest way to get a hold of me. I want you to think about what would be the next logical step that you want the reader to take and make it easy for them to find you in that last sentence in your About section. So a few examples of CTAs that might work for you is to learn more how I can help your organization, email me. Or for a lot of people who are entrepreneurs or have different Facebook groups and LinkedIn groups, join our growing community of action takers over at yada yada. Or connect with me to learn how all of my skills and all the things I'm good at can help you and your organization thrive at, and so on. So those are just a few examples. You might find some that work better, again, for your audience. But again, now all I've done is I've saved someone time and I've given them the next logical step in their journey. So like I mentioned, I'd love to take a look at the profiles that you have and of course, answer some questions. If you're comfortable with us looking at your profile, please drop me a note in the chat. I'm going to take a look at it. Now, I should mention, you have to be patient with me. I'm a LinkedIn geek, but I'm not a technology geek. So once we get back on LinkedIn, I'll just have to change some settings here to make sure I pull up the right screen for you guys. But yeah, let me know if you have a profile that I can take a look at. Otherwise, I'm going to probably pick on Tim. So Tim, I'm actually going to stop my screen share.
I really hope somebody else volunteers because I know that mine is terrible.
Oh, well, hey, you're in the right. Okay, so Christina, thank you, Christina. Just like I said, bear with me, you guys. See, this is where I need all of you to help me get out of the screen share. What on earth am I doing wrong? Okay, I think I figured it out. Can someone give me a quick thumbs up in the chat? Can you see my profile now up on the screen?
No.
Anyone? Thumbs up. Tim, what do you see on your screen?
Nothing yet.
Oh, you don't see anything? Oh, shoot.
Well, I see our grid of names.
Okay, how about now?
Oh, something's coming up. Yeah, there we go.
Is it me?
Yes.
And now is it you?
Yes.
Okay. So you know what? We're not going to pick on you long because we've got Christina coming up next. We've also got Lisa. But let's take a quick look at Tim's About section. So what Tim might want to do over the next couple weeks is find a few more characters that he can fit in here. Now, Tim does a lot of great, interesting things with TechNation. You know, event specialist is only one of the things in his portfolio. So Tim might want to take some time to outline not only what this portfolio does for the members, but what other portfolios that he takes on and how it serves the members of TechNation. But Tim also has roles at other institutions as well. So he might want to capitalize on all the volunteer work that he does, but also how that volunteer position or how that project position enables him to help his current organization. So Tim, I'm going to leave this with you, and I'm going to pull up Christina. Just give me a second, Christina. I want to make sure I find you. I did. Here we go. Hopefully I found the right girl. Christina, let me know if I'm on the right profile. Okay, so Christina, I love actually your first line is actually quite compelling. I love the word emerging. It's such a great word. The only thing I would add, Christina, is what does an emerging UX researcher and designer mean for the recruiter? So start to plunk a few of your helper words in that first statement. So like, okay, I'm going to take a second. Second year master. Yeah, so Christina, I would go back to that first line, which is, like I said, it's so good. I love that word emerging. But what does that mean for the recruiter? Start to use some helper words, even maybe plunk in some of those key words. So the key words are maybe the types of companies that you are looking for. And when a job recruiter goes into the search engine and types some of these keywords, then the likelihood of your profile showing up increases, right? Because you have those keywords in your profile. The other thing you may want to do, Christina, and I know this isn't about the About section, but your headline, we want to make sure that it reflects some of the things that you're doing in the About section. So that emerging UX researcher and designer line, which I love so much, I wouldn't mind if it was also in your profile or some variation of that in your, sorry, not your profile, your headline. So I hope that helps. You still have some characters in your headline to use up, so I would probably put something up there. Now I'm going to go quickly back just to my profile very, very quickly, Christina. I've also used some helper words in my headline, so you might be able to do that as well on your headline up here. And then Christina, because you're looking for jobs like literally in a month, make sure that you have a strong call to action at the end of your About section as well. So I hope that gives you enough to kind of look at. We're going to look at another profile. We've got Lisa Lawrence. Lisa, I'm going to pull you up, and if I find your right profile, because is it this one, Lisa? Okay, let's pull up this Lisa. Lisa, I don't think this is you, only because this is a Canadian company. Lisa, will you do me a quick favor and just drop the link to your profile right in the chat? And having said that, there was, is it Kifayat? And again, please forgive me if I pronounce that wrong. So Kifayat did drop the link into the chat. So we're going to look at Kifayat's profile here quickly. Couple things, Kifayat, we want to make sure we have a profile picture up. Now, one thing, you may have a profile picture up, but that means you need to go into your settings, which is, I'm pointing to the settings up here by me right now. But you may want to go into your settings and make sure that your profile picture is visible to everyone. You may have a setting on your profile where it's, yeah, so thanks, Kifayat. So go into your settings here underneath me at the top and make sure that it's visible to everyone. as a third-degree connection to me, I cannot view your picture, nor can I view your last name. So you can change those settings under settings and privacy so that people like me or job recruiters that are third connections to you can view you. Because right now, if they're a third connection to you, they won't be able to see your picture. And that is key, that you want to make sure that your profile picture and especially your last name are visible. Now, Kifayat, the other thing you'll want to work on is your headline. So I'll jump back actually to my headline to show you how to update this. On your own profile, there's going to be a little pencil icon here. You're going to click on that, and that gives you the ability to plunk in a headline. Now, even though this session isn't about headlines, headlines work similar to the About section. You want to make sure that you've got some helper words and you also have keywords. So Kifayat, I can kind of tell you're probably looking at keywords, still include aerospace and engineer, but let them know how you are going to help those organizations further their objectives. So now we'll look at your About section, now that we kind of covered off those two. And friends, if you are having similar LinkedIn's privacy settings, hopefully follow the lead I gave to Kifayat and make sure that you change your settings here so that everyone can see your picture and see your last name. Now, your About section. So I love the bullet points here. I think we can probably eliminate the summary of qualifications, or at least drop that down in the About section and make sure that we have that strong, compelling statement at the top. So I hope that helps. This is all good, but what you may notice about this, Kifayat, is this is almost things that appear on that hard copy resume or the curriculum vitae that we create, right? What we want to do with these, again, is position them on how you either helped the group project, right? How you furthered the goal of the project, or how you can help your future organization. So these verbal communication and written skills are great, but how is that going to help your future employer? So I would do that for each bullet point here. And again, the technical skills, this is great stuff to have. I don't think you really need to change any of this. I think if you can change some of these statements to become helper statements or become future looking statements, you can leave your technical skills. And like I said, make sure that you have a clear call to action underneath here. I think you've got lots of real estate still to work with. You probably can double the amount of characters in here and still have some time. So I hope that helps. Are there any other profiles that you wouldn't mind me taking a look at here? Lisa, if you're still on the call, did you want to drop your link into the chat here? And I'll take a look at your profile and we'll kind of go through some of the things. So while we're waiting for that, I do want to show some really great things. Could you please walk me through the privacy settings process? Yes, I can. But because I got distracted by this, I want to show you this here. Not everyone has access to the featured section, although actually now you might have access to the featured section. It's a relatively new feature in the last couple years, and it was rolled out very slowly through LinkedIn's membership. So it looks like Kifayat has it, which is excellent. This featured section is a great place to upload media that could obviously help your employer as well. So I'm just going to jump back to my profile, and I know we're not talking about the featured section, but it falls right below About. So let's just go to town. My featured section, I've included a lot of media on how it helps my ideal audience. My ideal audience, again, is sales professionals, and I, of course, teach personal branding. So I have quite a few pieces of media on my featured section. It's great, Kifayat, that you've started this section. So it would be great if you can, once again, if you have anything else that you can plunk in here, that'd be great, but this is a fantastic start. So Well done. So Chantel, I'm going to get to you in just a second. I'm going to show you all these privacy settings that is prohibiting me from seeing Kifayat's picture and his last name. So now, again, these are my settings, even though you can see his name. But under my settings, I go to settings and privacy, and it's going to pull up how people see your profile under visibility. Okay, under visibility, then you have profile viewing options, and this shows what people see when people land on your profile. This may be the setting, Kifayat, that you need to update here. So I've got it full profile for everybody in the network. So you might want to check that setting, Kifayat. You also might want to check edit your public profile. Oh, no, you don't. Let's go back. Where am I then? Oh, who can see your last name? That's a big one too. So I'm assuming, Kifayat, that you have checked the second box as opposed to the first box. So let's make sure that the first box is checked. So I'm going to give you a few minutes actually to do that, and then I wouldn't mind going back to your profile. So I'm going to actually get your profile up here, and I'm going to give you a few minutes to make those updates, and we'll jump back to you, okay? So hopefully that helps. And then let's look at Chantel's profile here. Chantel, thank you for volunteering. Great profile picture. So it looks like you've got your settings set up, Chantel. And we're also second connections, which means you and I should be first connections. So Paul, actually Paul works for Casey. I didn't know that you were connected with Paul. That's pretty cool. Okay, sorry, I'm getting distracted. So Chantel, great profile picture. We're going to jump to the about section because that's what this particular session is about. But make sure you upload a banner to this space. The banner is a great piece of real estate. I call it the billboard, and it's free. It's a free billboard for you to humble brag all about yourself, and of course include a great call to action. So, but we'll work on that after we take a quick look at your about section. So I actually quite love this, and that's the first place my eye went to, Chantel. And I don't know if you notice that about other people who say things about your profile. This is the first thing that people go to, which is great. But again, what we want to do is ensure that we have a very compelling profile at the, ooh, working at U Ottawa is extremely rewarding. I actually love that. I enjoy working with co-op employers, students, and all the stakeholders. Our team is outstanding, and I'm proud to present. Okay, I love it. For starters, you're using yourself in first person, which is fantastic. I love that. The only thing I would change here really is to, if you've defined who your target audience is. So if your target audience, and in this case, it might not be job recruiters, maybe you're trying to attract sponsors to your program. I'm not sure. If you're a member of Casey, maybe that's exactly what it is you are doing. Where are you at U Ottawa? You're probably trying to attract businesses as well with their co-op opportunities. So make sure that you put something in this about section that would attract the job recruiters at those organizations that have co-op opportunities for your students. I hope I made a correct assumption with that. But that kind of looks like what you're doing is trying to attract co-op opportunities. Yeah, you're a member of Casey, aren't you? Because you're looking for employers and students and all stakeholders, which is pretty cool. I used to work at Casey in like 25 years ago. Crazy. And we're going to connect whether you know it or not. I'm just going to send you a note later. But Chantel, you and I are going to connect. And a call to action at the end, Chantel. I think this is, it's powerful stuff, but again, we want to make sure that we're attracting the audience. You also may want to break this up a little to create some visual interest, and you can break it up just by, you know, white space, right? The white space between some of the sentences or paragraphs. You may want to use emojis. If you're not an emoji person, that's fine. Some other things that people do, oh, let me go to a profile and show you here. I know exactly who to show you. If you're not into emojis, you can do it with just lines and ticks. He has emojis, yes, but do you see what he's done here, Chantal? Is he's just kind of broken it up with lines and copy. So you can do that as well. And again, his is 3 times as long as yours. But with the visual interest, it gives the reader kind of pause. It's like, okay, I'm going to read the first section, done that. Okay, now I'm going to read the next section, done that. Okay, and now I'm going to read further. When it becomes a run-on of 2,000 characters, we tend to lose the attention of our audience, again, because we just can't read that long. Even though yours is shorter, this one gives us opportunity to kind of breathe and then read some more and then breathe and so on and so on and so on. So I hope that helps. This is such a great about section. I'm a big fan. Okay, so Kifayat, let's see what you've done with your profile here. Oh, there he is. There, and he's open to work. Oh, fantastic. So you've got a lot of great things here, Kifayat. Like I said, just make sure that you have something compelling here in your headline. All of these words are great. These look like excellent keywords. Keep the keywords. But you may want to put something in there about, I don't even know. Helping organize, you know what, I'm going to pass on that. That's that game show, remember, from the 80s where you could pass? I'm going to pass on that. But this is, you're already leaps and bounds better, Kifayat, especially for job recruiters that are looking for you. If they're 3rd degree connections, they're going to be able to find you. So well done. And like I said, just take some time through here. Is there anyone else that wants to play LinkedIn profiles today? We've got Kifayat, we've got, continue to drop your profiles into the chat if you're comfortable with other people seeing it. I'm gonna just pick on Kifayat again. The featured section, like I said, he's done a great job of uploading stuff there. Now, Kifayat, the one thing I noticed is there is no work experience. And if you don't have work experience, that's fine. But you may also want to put your project experience to create a work experience. To add a section to your profile, I think I have to go to me to do this. To add a section to your profile, when your profile comes up, where did it go? It was here and now it's gone. Anyways, there's a button that says add profile section. Now it's gone. Maybe because I don't have anything more to add on mine. But there should be a button that pops up on your profile that says add a profile. Oh, here it is. Add a profile section. And you may want to put some work experience, even some project work experience under there. And again, make sure that it relates to your target audience. So I hope that helps. I'm back on Chantal here. Seriously, folks, what else would you like to look at? If you want, I can pick on Tim again, but I don't want to pick on Tim because he's got a lot of work ahead of him now as well. So we'll give him that homework and then we'll come back to him at the next section. Samir, thank you, Samir. I found your profile. We're going to take a look at Samir's. Perfect. Okay, so you've got your settings set up. It looks like, ooh, we're 2nd degree connections as well. We'll have to figure out why. I love this, Samir. I'm an aspiring sports business professional with extensive leadership experience in a variety of academic, administrative, and recreation settings. Oh, I love this. So here's what Samir has done that I absolutely love is he has woven a story and he has invited me into his story. Ever since a young age, I've always been passionate about the sport of basketball, but more broadly, have always believed sports as a tool. I love this. I love this. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. The only thing that I would add to this is the call to action. Oh, you've got it here. Feel free to reach out. Just let them know how you want them to reach out, Samir. Make sure that you make it clear on how you want to be connected. And you have some more characters, so you could expand on some of these things a little more. Like I said, if we go back to Rupesh, you might be able to add a few things on, you know, I'm just throwing stuff at a wall here to see what sticks, Samir, but maybe you want to talk about some of the sports associations you've worked for in the past, maybe some of the things that you've done for them, and of course, how it can help your next opportunity, your project work, if you've done any project work. It looks like you've got the educational background, so talk about some of those courses and what it taught you, and again, how it can help your next employer. But you've got a great start here. I love the story you've woven. It's fantastic. And you've got your featured section as well. Fantastic. So Samir is well on his way here. His profile is looking really good. Just a few minor tweaks, but you're doing a great job in creating that story. So for those of you who are interested in how that works, storytelling is a powerful tool, and you've probably heard a lot about storytelling. Because it's front and center. I want to show you another LinkedIn geek. So if you're looking at following more LinkedIn geeks, this is my friend Michaela, and this is her story. When I was little, my dream career was the tooth fairy. It was a bummer when I found out that it wasn't in the cards for me. So I chose the next best thing, showing people just like you the magic of LinkedIn. Now this is cheeky, and for her industry, it's allowed. It might not be allowed for your industry to be as cheeky as Michaela. But do you see what she's done, right? Like, it was right in the first sentence. And doesn't that make you want to be her best friend? Like, she's just so cute. You may not want to appear cute, but you can weave a story that wants you, that will befriend your target audience. So anyways, that's just one story. Like I said, Samir has woven a really great story here. And I feel like I know Samir just based on what he's written in his about section. So pretty cool stuff. It's pretty powerful stuff when you are setting yourself apart from the competition. Because what Samir could have done is just said, I play basketball, or I'm vice president of events at Ted Rogers MBA Sports Leadership. I don't know what that means. I have absolutely no idea what that means. So he's going to fix that to show his future employers what that means. But this is what it means. This is the about section. This is what he's trying to communicate. And anyways, it's great work, Samir. Just keep it up. I feel very confident that someone is going to scoop you up. So good luck to you in your job search. Okay, does anybody else want to take a look? Or who else can I pick on? Janet, are you still in the room? Can I pick on you? Did Janet leave? Okay, so let's talk about other things on LinkedIn. How am I doing for time, Tim? Oh, that's cute. Tim, am I still okay to kind of talk about some other...
Yeah, you've got about 10 more minutes.
Oh, fantastic. So 10 minutes, you guys, which means still 10 minutes to look at some profiles. So please drop them into the chat. Would love to take a look. As you can see, we've made changes on the fly. We've got, ooh, good, we've got another one. You know, this is the time to work on it now, when you can play around with different things and then ask me, right? Ask everybody, right? Get in the chat and say, hey folks, check out my profile, see what you think. Would you respond to this profile, right? This is the easiest way to do it. So we have, and please forgive me, is it Chioma? I hope I pronounced that right. Just give me a quick thumbs up, Chioma, if I did this right. Here's what I'm going to shoot. Okay, guys, if you have your phone, you're going to follow me through to the LinkedIn app on your phone, because I'm going to show you something that might help for people who have, go Chioma. It is Chioma? Okay, perfect. If you're on your LinkedIn app on your phone and you go to your profile, you view your profile. If you notice, when you're viewing your profile on your phone, do you notice at the top, right beside your name, it has a megaphone? It's a little megaphone emoji. This is where you record the pronunciation of your name. So that when I come onto your profile, I'm going to go to a friend of mine who has done this. Oh, it doesn't show up on the. Okay, so if you go to my friend Marilyns profile on your phone, it doesn't show up on desktop. Oh, where did it go? Oh, now she's erased it. Dang it. Well, maybe I should just record one so you know what it is. Anyways, there's going to be a megaphone. I assure you, there's a megaphone on your profile where you can record the pronunciation of your name. And if you're having troubles finding that, just message me through LinkedIn and I'll make sure that you get there after today's class. So let's go back to Chioma's profile, which I've accidentally deleted somehow. Okay, so information is everywhere, experts are few. I love that. I love that. Chioma, I'm not sure who your target audience is, so I'm going to try and learn who your target audience is. And it looks like you have great tenure at University of Toronto. You've actually outlined this really good. You've got some great call to actions here. Oh, you're probably a member of Casey as well as I continue to read this. So if I'm correct, if you're similar to Chantel, oh, you know Marianne. I know Marianne. She's, oh, so yeah, you're definitely a member of Casey, or at least used to be. You are probably looking for employers. And if you are, then we might want to, yeah, yes to Casey. So yes, so we want to make sure somewhere in our headline and our about section, we are targeting those employers that have co-op opportunities for our students. I get what you do only because I used to be in your world. But if I didn't, I wouldn't know exactly what an external outreach officer was. And so we want to make it clear in this headline here what an external outreach officer is. In fact, we're going to get rid of this altogether and we're going to put, I help place co-op students with the right employers or something like that. The key, make sure you have your keywords, but some of your job titles and stuff, they'll still appear under here. And so when people are searching specifically for an external outreach officer, you are still going to come up. So I hope that helps. Tim, thanks for that. I'm going to take a look at that in a second. So Chioma, we want to talk to our employers. And again, I help place co-op students, ... That could be a good place for you to start. We're also going to do that in your about section. So we're preparing the next generation of information professionals. This is fantastic. We just need to make sure that we're talking to the right audience. So how are we preparing the next generation? Are we doing it through education? Are we doing it through placement? That's what you want to compound in your about section. And it looks like you're passionate about your work. You've been there a long time. So that's going to be our hook in the about section, is preparing the next generation of information professionals is what gets me out of bed every single day. I love the future. I love our students. This is why, and this is how you can help, and blah, 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 and then a call to action. So that was a lot in a very short period of time. She's super passionate about her students. Yes, you are super passionate about your students. I mean, you wouldn't be there for as long as you have. I know Marianne's been there. Well, gosh, I worked with Marianne, so she's been there probably 25, 30 years. You guys love your work. So let that shine, let that come through, show people how much that you love your work, and people are drawn into that. So I hope that helps. Oh, and your banner, great real estate here. So Tim sent me a little something. Let me see what he sent. The pencil icon, hold on, what's the second one? Add name pronunciation. So are you on your phone? Yeah, he is. Okay, so thank you, Timothy. So we're going back to our phones. If you have names that you feel require a bit of help, like my friend Anne Nguyen. And again, there's a lot of people in our industry who have for years mispronounced her last name. So she did use this feature. So if you are on your phone, I wonder if I can drag this over to, I can. So thank you for these visuals. I appreciate it. So what Tim has done is this is from his phone. So he's on his phone right now, and there's a pencil icon right beside his name. So when you click the pencil icon, you're going to get to a screen that says add name pronunciation, and that gives you the option to add your pronunciation. So I hope that helps. But again, if it doesn't, you know how to find me. Let me know, or ask Tim, because he found it while we were doing this. So I appreciate that, Tim, very, very much. Is there anyone else that has a profile? Yeah, Kifayat, I think it would be great for you. Yeah, so if you have troubles, Kifayat, please do let me know. I want to make sure that I point you in the right direction. Is there anyone else who would like us to take a quick look at your profile? Let's look at Marianne's profile. I haven't looked at her profile in years. So she's very similar to Chioma. She, or at least she used to find co-op positions for her kids. Chioma, I want you to take a look at this. Passionate about career development and love the success stories of my students. Doesn't that just make you want to jump into her profile? So she's actually done a really good job here. She works with employers, assisting them. So she's got her helper words, assisting, she manages, she instructs students. So Marianne doesn't even know we're doing this, but she's got a great about section. She's got her specialties listed at the bottom. Remember, I mentioned that earlier in the lesson today, that you can do that. You can list your skills. So she's done a great job of that. I think for Marianne, making sure that she has a call to action. Oh, no, she's got it right here. Look at this. See? Brilliant. Brilliant. Yeah. Well done, Marianne. Chioma, if you reach out to her, just tell her I said hi and that we were creeping on her profile, which is fantastic. Really well done. So does anyone else want me to creep on their profile? Because I'm happy to do it. I do it behind your backs anyway, because this is what I do all day, every day. I look for best practices. I look for things that grab my attention, and then I pass them on to you so you don't have to do that digging. I kind of call myself the LinkedIn archaeologist, because that's all I do is I just scour the LinkedIn intraweb looking for cool stuff. And today we've stumbled on some really cool things. And some of you have some really cool things, and people who don't even know we're creeping on them have some really cool things. Is there anything else I can help you with, gang? Seriously, please ask me. If you're not comfortable me looking at the profile in this public forum, just send me a message on LinkedIn. I'd be happy to take a quick look. Maybe we can jump on a super quick Zoom and I can give you a couple tips that'll help you on your way. Happy to do that. So you know how to find me. Here I am. Oh, I've apparently done this. So let's take a listen. Leanne Calderwood. I wonder when I did that. So I have actually done that for some reason. Oh, I know why. Some cultures call me Lenny. They look at this and they read Lenny or Leany. So that's why I did that, actually, is because in some cultures, the Lee and the An didn't resonate. So that's why I did that. Oh, and a lot of people call me Calderwood instead of Calder, like a cauldron. You don't need to know that, but that's what I did. So I think I'm going to wrap up here unless there's any other questions. But my friends, I am here to assist you. If you want to drop me a message on LinkedIn, certainly connect with me on LinkedIn because I'd love to see how your journey is going. And as you craft your about section and you don't have access to this recording and you just want a quick set of eyes on it, please don't hesitate to ask. That's why I'm here, and I want to see you succeed. Your about section, you should take a look at it every 3 months. So put it in your calendar now to take a look at it again in June, because it'll change. A lot can happen in 3 months. And when you go away and come back with a fresh set of eyes, you might think, oh, geez, I really need to add this or change the language around this. So cut and paste into a Word document so you do not lose it. Please do that. So for all of you today who I've said to do some changes on your profile, copy and paste all of this into a Word document so you do not lose it, and then revisit it every 3 months. Thank you so much for having me. And yeah, please stay in touch. Would love to hear from you.
Great, thanks, Leanne. And just one final note, Leanne is doing another session on March 25th about creating LinkedIn posts that create engagement. So I've dropped the link for registration in the chat. So please join us for some more LinkedIn fun.